Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw. We'll talk about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart.
Today we are talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there.
Stick around to the end of the episode, see how a drawing of Obi-Wan and Vader came out, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is the latest Star Wars Disney Plus show starring Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and Moses Ingram. Directed by Deborah Chow, which I was happy about because as much as I love the rotating cast of directors from the Mandalorian series, I did want to see like a singular vision, and I feel like we got that here. I think she did a pretty good job for the most part. It was nice to have a consistent tone and vision throughout the whole series. There was a lot of great set pieces. I liked the look of the show. The cinematography, especially for the finale duel, was amazing. My only complaint though was that in some scenes at nighttime, it was a little too dark. You had to watch it at nighttime because if you tried watching this in the daytime on your TV, you're not seeing anything.
Yeah, it's like watching the Batman in broad daylight. Yeah, I really liked how it bridged the gap between the prequels, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and then brought us like in the middle of A New Hope, the first movie. So that was really cool because at first I was like, don't bleed out the Star Wars franchise, don't milk it, because I wasn't a huge fan of Boba Fett, so this got me really worried. Don't destroy a beloved character of Obi-Wan, someone that was so forefront. Don't kind of diminish what was been done, but I thought they did a really good job of making a story that was right in the middle, and it was just honestly super excited to see Darth Vader and Hayden Christensen returning. So that was like really exciting, and I thought they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I was glad to see Hayden Christensen definitely get a second chance at this because he's got that stigma of his bad acting throughout the prequels. And this had a strong first episode debut during Star Wars Celebration. The fans were hyped. I loved all the interviews between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen at Star Wars Celebration and other platforms. I was just very excited to see this show, and I remember this was rumored to be a movie a few years back, so I was super excited for this. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I know a lot of people are complaining about it, but I found it very enjoyable every week. I was looking forward to it every week. I feel like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, they step right back into these roles, especially after being gone from them for almost 20 years. I feel like they seamlessly found their way back into these characters.
Yeah, I thought it was really smart to set it 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. That like recap at the beginning was so freaking epic. I literally got chills of showing everything that happened with him killing Yinglings. Ayo. And then, even just the way it opened up, I was like, oh snap, this is Execute Order 66. So just seeing how it like weaved in and out of the lore, I think is like one of the most fun elements of the show. And I'm glad that we didn't get too much Vader. Obviously we want to see Vader, but like I'm glad that it wasn't like in your face like they did. Really, secluded shots of him walking, the boots, the belt strap with the saber going, and they would keep him in and out. He wasn't the main villain or focus of the show. They did a really smart job of introducing this new villainous character, Reva, played by Moses Ingram. She got a lot of hate online for no reason.
I wasn't into that at all.
I wasn't into that, but personally, I didn't like her character at first because I thought she was playing it as like a Disney theme park type character that you would see walking around like, where's the resistance? And
Galaxy's Edge.
And
like
it was just like too over the top, but her character, how it weaved with Vader and Obi-Wan, was so super in depth that I was like, okay, this is a nice addition to the Star Wars universe.
I really enjoyed that scene. I thought it was pretty gut-wrenching. You see the younglings trusting the Jedi Masters, and they're all being murdered in front of them. So I thought that was a pretty strong way to open it, especially since this character, that's her whole arc.
Yeah.
Yes, I had some issues with her character overall, but for the most part, I didn't get into the hate that everybody else had. She's over the top, but that was the point of it.
That was the point.
And we knew that there was going to be more of a story with her later on in the series.
Yeah.
So week by week. And honestly, I feel like it was a pretty nice payoff. And even with that flashback to open it, I was really hoping we'd see Baby Grogu.
Yes.
Because we do know he was there based on our prior knowledge from The Mandalorian. I wanted to see maybe how he got saved or like how he got
his trauma.
Or like who like hit him and sent him away. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I loved how it started off with the Jedis on the run with the Inquisitors coming after them. That was really cool. Like to see this almost like the downfall of the Jedi, and you felt for them, and like this, you could see the Empire getting its roots in the universe and just the dark force that it was becoming.
Like you said too, Vader's not so much the main enemy in this. Like they hyped it up. The whole marketing was Obi-Wan, the rematch of the century. Is what Kathleen Kennedy said. And I do feel like we did get that.
We did get that, definitely.
It was almost like they mashed in an Inquisitors show with an Obi-Wan show.
That was smart,
I thought it was pretty smart.
Yeah.
Is there some weak script issues? Absolutely. Some weak storylines, but overall,
some weak acting in a few spots, but
I don't even think it's the acting. I think it's just the script, a little bit of a weak script, but everything else was executed pretty well. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I looked forward to it every week. I loved seeing Vader on my TV week to week, and just going to the Inquisitors. I loved the look of them. Seeing them live action was pretty sweet. Even the Grand Inquisitor, a lot of people complained about his look, I feel like if you didn't know what he looked like in the animated series, you would have no issue with how he is, because the actor Rupert Friend, I think was his name. I thought he had an awesome persona as this character, especially seeing him stand side by side with Vader. Yeah, it was just so badass to me, seeing how tall Vader was. And I loved his voice.
The mushroom head, Japanese type.
The fifth brother or something like that. That guy looked really cool.
They were cool.
Awesome transition to live action. I loved their base. The Fortress Inquisitorius that was like underwater and stuff. It was so like Saturday morning cartoon villain to me. I ate that up.
Let's get into our hero though, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was great to see Ewan McGregor return. He's aging gracefully. Oh yeah. Honestly, he looked great. This guy's
never looked better.
He's never looked better. He looked awesome. Hayden Christensen, I hate to say, he looks older than Ewan McGregor in real life, so I was like, no, like
it's not aging well. Maybe because that's the dark side, Jarena.
Yeah, exactly. And I really enjoyed his character arc of this like wayward Jedi that wasn't living up to his potential and wasn't doing what he knows is right. We see him secluded on the run. He's just like rolling up sushi at this like iron factory and taking
cut up the meat of a Kree dragon.
Yeah, that was a really cool set piece. But even the lines of like when he went into like Breaking Bad meth lab, right? And he's like, oh, he's on the mission now. He's finally doing the heroic thing, and they're like, oh, where do you think you're going? He's like, oh, I've seemed to have lost my way. That was subliminal, and I really appreciate small details like that are fun, but also like impact the character and the emotion and the whole arc of this whole thing.
We see Kenobi, which by the way, I wish the show was called Kenobi.
Just
because
Kenobi,
it's
right?
because like especially dealing with the themes of purpose and identity. We know he's a hermit at this point. He's lost his way. Everything he's known and loved has crumbled. He even is reluctant to help people to the point where he lets a youngling Jedi that's on the run from the Inquisitors gets publicly hanged in the square, and I felt really bad. That was the nice, like, he finally realized when he saw him hanging.
He's got to act.
He messed up, and now the call to action was Senator Bail Organa coming and saying, his daughter, Princess Leia, got kidnapped. So, and that was a cool little bridge between this and A New Hope, seeing that he helped Leia. So, of course, you would call him. It all makes pretty much, sense in the grand scheme of things. I really enjoyed the show. I know it's getting a lot of hate.
And just seeing him struggling with the Force and, like, him trying to strengthen those muscles again, him slowly getting better, because it would have been a cop-out if by the end he's just like, amazing, but to see him struggle and then kind of build it up to the point where he is able to fight Vader, and they have this like Force battle, that was amazing. His
character arc of the resurgence, the call to action to finally become the hero he is, that's why I wish the show was just called Kenobi, because he's called Ben at this point too, he's under that alias, but he's still Kenobi. This was once the general of the Clone Wars and a powerful Jedi that survived Order 66. So it's like, this is still that same man. How do we get him to the point where he becomes the hero that he once was? And it was cool seeing that first battle between him and Vader. What did you think about that? Like you said, he was weak. His set of skills is kind of diminished because use it or lose it. The guy hasn't touched the saber in 10 years.
The saber, the Force, he's all out of sorts. But I know a lot of people were complaining that Vader was just like, he's super powerful. They set that up right away. And he's dragging people in the street. He stops a jet at one point in the episodes, and it's crazy. Like mid-flight, the thing just stops. I was like, damn!
It's so bad.
That is so powerful. At the end, he just kind of gives up after that first fight, which it makes sense because the hero has to go down and then overcome it.
Story structure-wise,
But my pushback against that is that he was surrounded by fire. Come on, guys! What do you think, he's gonna go through it? I know he's got the suit and everything, but you don't think he'd have PTSD from burning alive on a lava planet?
That too, the trauma of burning alive, but also I feel like he's been so obsessed with Kenobi since that. And by the way, I completely forgot that. Why would Obi-Wan think that Anakin is alive? He left him for dead on Mustafar. So when I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Of course he wouldn't know that he's alive. So hearing that news when Reva, the third sister, is saying that Anakin Skywalker's alive, which I thought was cool. A lot of people are like, oh, how would she know that Vader's
Weren't they like
Anakin?
mind communicating and stuff too? And also weaved into her story.
Yeah, but like because weaved into her story because, I'm sure that during Order 66, the clone troopers were calling him Lord Vader, and she knows him as Anakin Skywalker, so that whole thing, like, that didn't bother me. People are too cynical these days. It really annoys me. Just enjoy the fact that we have a Star Wars show coming on our TV every week. When he sees him for that first duel, that music that comes in when Vader comes out of the shadows, you just see the glowing lights, and then he comes in, he says, what happened to you? What have you become? He says, I am what you made me and stuff, and
Yeah,
I just thought that was great.
I like that guilt trip and that survivor's guilt that Obi-Wan was dealing with, and he was almost like afraid of him too, like afraid to face him, and it was so impactful.
Besides the trauma of burning alive too, he's been so obsessed for 10 years about exacting revenge on his former master. I feel like
he wanted him to sweat it
suffer.
out.
He even
sweat
says,
it out.
I think he even says like this is only the beginning of your suffering or something like that. And I love that shot of him at the flames.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. But also even the final fight, I really enjoyed that with the Force. They're like the only people on this planet that they go to. Seeing Vader's ship, all of it. The lightsabers were gorgeous in this
lighting
episode and series. Great lighting. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And to see it not be, it was like a nice blend between like the crazy choreography of the prequels and like an homage to like the simple fighting tactics of the original trilogy.
It was story driven, but it also wasn't as choreographed as the prequels, which, like you said, was a nice balance. And you have to keep in mind too, Obi-Wan's older, his skills are down. Darth Vader's a half machine, so they're not going to be doing backflips and stuff. As cool as that would have been to see, it's just they're not at that point in their life. They're getting older. They're moving on. So, like you said, the lightsaber work I had no issue with. I thought it was good. I even think that based on our top 5 lightsaber duels,
this might be one of them, right?
This takes out The Force Awakens and comes in at number 5. That finale duel.
Absolutely.
I love the episode where they first meet each other again in that village, and Obi-Wan's hiding and stuff, and seeing Vader come out and choking people and stuff. It was like really scary. Like if you think of like in real terms, hiding, like Anne Frank. You think of Anne Frank, right? She's hiding. The Nazis are coming in. That intimidation of seeing like the evil walking. That's how I felt as far as like you see the stormtroopers,
super tense,
the Inquisitors, and then Vader coming in. I was just like, oh my god,
you're the minority.
Yeah, and he's coming for you, and he knows he's there. He's looking at him. I thought the tension in that episode was great, but my one complaint was the location of their first fight, because it did feel very secluded, like low budget. And I get it's like it's not a movie budget,
but it's Disney.
It's Disney, but like this could have benefited from maybe being a movie and having the movie budget. I felt like that first duel was very confined to the volume that we see that they set up with Disney Star Wars television. They film a lot of it there, which is why when we finally do get the grand epic battle in the finale, I thought that it was so well shot, beautiful lighting with the lightsabers, awesome scale. You see the two of them in like in like the bottom, and then in the background is these huge major mountains, and like the lighting, the like I said, everything, the perspective, the scale and scope of it was so epic to me. Too.
The dialogue and the way Vader's voice goes in and out with the machine,
so good,
brilliant, brilliantly done. So I wanted to see. I was like, oh, are we gonna see Hayden Christensen? I know we got the prequel like flashbacks of them fighting, and that was cool. That interweave too about like
the Attack of the Clones era.
You'll always be the Padawan if you're acting out of like anger and fear and all that. So that was smart to see even their tactics, and I loved all that.
I like that flashback.
But to see half his face with the Vader mask, oh my god, I was gushing over that, man.
And like you said too, the voices right going out between him and Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones, that whole like
it was emotional.
Yeah, because you remember too, like Vader's such an iconic character, one of the greatest characters, let alone villains, characters of all pop culture. He's had those eras, right, of James Earl Jones and The Empire Strikes Back and all that stuff, and then you have Hayden Christensen in the prequels leading up to Vader from Anakin, and this was finally like the perfect blend of seeing that it is the same person. Obviously, he's now Vader, and like you said, the dialogue in that finale is so good when he says, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did," and the way he says it is so like almost like ego-driven, like. I just like everything he says in that finale.
He wouldn't give Obi-Wan the satisfaction for his demise.
Yeah, and
he doesn't even know his children are out there and stuff. Yeah, and it's just like, oh man,
he killed his own wife because he was so blinded. You know.
What'd you think of his children, by the way? I like that Luke was in the background.
Yes,
we've seen enough of Luke. We've seen a lot of him in the new trilogy, the old trilogy. He's obviously the GOAT, right? It was nice to see Leia kind of get like more of the forefront. The child actor is adorable. I'm not a huge fan of child actors usually, but she did a really good job. Only a couple of gripes with like the direction I felt and the acting. Once I saw Flea on my screen, I was like, I'm no longer in a galaxy far, far away. That's the basis from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Exactly.
And he's doing some of the worst chops I've ever seen as an actor.
Pretty brutal.
And like with the fact that like 4 grown assassins couldn't chase down this little girl who's running like
10-year-old girl. Yeah, when they're all chasing at her, it becomes like slapstick comedy. Like they're hitting branches and stuff. You just wait for that song.
But I did enjoy her droid too, Lola, I think its name was.
Obviously, shelves at a Walmart.
More merchandising, obviously. Yep. So that was cool. I thought it was hilarious that Obi-Wan goes on this death-defying journey, and once she's reunited with Obi-Wan again, she's like, Loma, the replaceable piece of technology that could be repaired or replaced, not the human being that just sacrificed his life. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I liked the homages of her outfits, right? Like they're paying homage to like her on Endor and in A New Hope, like the all white outfits, and even the comic books. There was like a comic book accurate when she gets the holster and stuff in the boobs.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. Ewan McGregor's emotional chops in this series are so good. His acting in this is so freaking good. It carries the whole thing. He's let go, like you said. He's done all he can to try to help Anakin, and even when he says that my friend is truly dead, goodbye Darth, like that was super powerful to me.
Yeah.
Which is why like Anakin is completely dead, which is why when he sees him in A New Hope, he calls him Darth. And I just thought that was all very impactful stuff.
I like the way too that the Emperor. I love that we got to see the Emperor, and he's like, is your focus on your
You had to rein Vader back in.
Yeah. He was like, all right. He's like, no, I got sidetracked, but I'm now into that. So I like that how they left that off, because now it's just going to be what leads us into the original trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
The one thing I was waiting for though was a surprise cameo of Liam Neeson in the end helping Obi-Wan, because I thought he needed a little bit of a level up, because he's been so removed from the Force and his skills that I thought he could have used the help, and to see that interaction of Liam Neeson seeing what Anakin, who he chose,
what would his thoughts?
What would he think of what's become of Anakin?
He's
I thought that would have been amazing.
He's the one that made the campaign for him to even become a Jedi.
Missed opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, let's talk about that because.
But I like that it leaves off with them now, the two of them again reunited, going on a journey, and hopefully we get more.
Yeah, I felt like you said, a missed opportunity because he was the one that put everything on the line to the Jedi Council. Like, this is the chosen one, this boy, and then he eventually becomes like the most evil person in the galaxy.
But it was Luke he was thinking of, right? Luke
there was, like Yoda even says it was something unseen. It was a mistake.
Skips a generation.
Yeah. I felt it was a missed opportunity because we even see the beginning of the show where it says previously on Star Wars, that whole lead up of Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn. I was expecting to see more, like you said, maybe Qui-Gon helping him in the finale, because all of a sudden Obi-Wan is just strong again, and even Vader says, your powers are back, or something like that. I was like, it's a little bit of a cop-out. And then at the end we see Qui-Gon saying, oh, you weren't ready to see. So I did like that, but at the same time, too, if he was with him the whole time, how would Qui-Gon not respond to Anakin turning into Vader? Like, there's something to be said there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like they completely missed out on that.
It excites me, though, because I'm excited to see a new season of what they do.
Well, it's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed, but what's their journey going to be next? Like that interaction is going to be awesome between Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. But what are they going to do? Like, what could they do for me? I would have loved if they had that cameo at the end. He helps him out, and Vader gets because I was like, he's super powerful. How's he going to? Okay, definitely go for the throat. Take away the oxygen system, whatever. He's got to retreat. That would have been smart. Just leave it off, and we see him again in A New Hope, and we get that epic lightsaber battle. I would have been content with that, but they want money, so guess we're getting more, maybe,
Granted, this was meant to be a one-off series, a limited series. I wouldn't mind a second season seeing Obi-Wan doing like these. Like I said, he's not going to sit around for another 10 years doing nothing. Now that he has his powers back and he's got Qui-Gon.
And there's obviously a lot of Jedi out there.
Exactly.
Yoda's in exile, so...
I feel like there's a lot of stories where we could see Obi-Wan being a hero, helping other people that are now in need, because, like I said, he let a youngling get hanged in a public square. That has to affect him.
Yeah.
You can't just wake up the next day and be like, all right, I let that happen. Like, you now need to, atone for that. You had the power to help somebody, you didn't. They died because of it. So now, let's see you become a hero again. And even the ending when he's, goes and meets Luke and he gives him the toy. When I saw Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan come off the, space horse thing, whatever. I was like, Obi-Wan is such a cool character. He's always been one of my favorite characters. You remember that from the prequels. I loved Obi-Wan. So I was really excited to see this. I wouldn't hate seeing him in another season, especially since Ewan McGregor's so good in the role.
Yeah.
Give it to me. But most importantly, give me a Vader series now. I want to see a complete Vader series. Vader just being evil as hell, doing his thing with the Emperor. I want to see that, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin, overall thoughts on the show? Closing statement here? What do you got?
I thought it was very enjoyable. A big step up from Boba Fett that made me lose all hope in the trilogy.
All respect for that character.
The Star Wars universe. I was like, they're done, man. They're done. But this one is a new hope. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi is our only hope. So that was really nice that it pumps some life back into it. Gets me excited again. Overall score, I'm going to give this thing as a whole probably an 8 out of 10. It was enjoyable. I didn't hate it. There was a few gripes I had with the acting and directing, but nothing overall that made me dislike it. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it week to week. I was looking forward to it. Like you just said about Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett, to me, destroyed the character. I even went to Walmart and saw an awesome Boba Fett toy. and couldn't buy it. Couldn't pull the trigger on it because I was like, that character is so emasculated for me.
My hairline went back another 2 inches watching Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett, honestly,
it took a good 2 years from my life.
It ruined
and I thought the
character.
pandemic took a good 2 years.
Yeah.
Boba Fett took 2 years.
Boba Fett destroyed that character. I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case with Obi-Wan Kenobi, where we leave off and it just diminishes the character's legacy. I liked the world building of like the veteran, homeless clone troopers.
Yes. Yeah.
The con artist Jedi after like Order 66. Underground Railroad for like Jedi. All of that stuff was really good ideas
Nice
for
additions,
me.
yeah.
I liked seeing the lore being built, and of course seeing Vader and Obi-Wan again twice was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this thing an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. What did you guys think about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!